I think that I won't stay too much on the Natura 2000 network. You heard yesterday from Commissioner Sinkevičius and from the Deputy Director General, Patrick Child, about the unique network of protected areas that we have in the EU, and of which Natura 2000 is a tangible example. It brings really the European project very close to the people. Indeed, 65% of EU citizens live less than 5 kilometers to a Natura 2000 site. The main problem is that they often don't know about it. That's why we need a communication strategy. The European Barometer is the European survey that is done regularly at European level to have a little bit of feedback from the general population, the citizens, about what they know about, what they think about certain topics. The last one dedicated to biodiversity was done in 2019. And while on one side, almost all Europeans are seriously concerned about the decline of natural habitats and the increase of number of species, extinction, so about the biodiversity loss, only few people, 1 out of 10, have heard about Natura 2000 and understand its value. So again, there is this gap to be filled, and the Bavarian project is really one of the most advanced example of how this gap can be filled. The benefits of Natura 2000 are very many. There are economic benefits because we are living in an economic world, so often we're asked, okay, fine, but there are some limitations for economic actors on the ground within or around Natura 2000. So what's the economic value? Well, here you see a figure between 200 and 300 billion euro per year of economic value of the network. It's a huge contribution to carbon storage and sequestration, so the fight against climate change, but at the same time is a major player in climate change resilience, so adapting to climate change and help reduce the damage caused by extreme weather events. As I said, Natura 2000 is not areas which are completely exempted from economic activities. There's a lot of forestry going on in Natura 2000. There's a lot of agriculture going on in Natura 2000. And we saw yesterday how the two things can be combined with really bringing an added value for the products of the farmers who produce food in Natura 2000 sites. And of course, it's a major player in the economic sector of tourism and recreation. During COVID, people living in the cities all of a sudden realized how important it is to be able to have a walk in the countryside or in the forest. And again, Natura 2000 offer these opportunities. The challenge of communicating about Natura 2000 is how to use all the possible tools. And of course, at European level, we have a number of tools, but of course, here in Brussels, we're still far away from the citizens. So we will work, and we will even more work in the future through intermediaries, people in between us and the citizen who can really translate the European messages into something relevant for people on the ground. So on our side, we work on direct communication through expert group meetings. We have regularly meetings with member state and stakeholders here in Brussels or online. We have biogeographical seminars, basically putting together national authorities, stakeholders, civil society, scientists. Many of my colleagues right now are either in Riga in Latvia or in the Azores for 2 biogeographical seminars to discuss precisely the Natura 2000 network and the biodiversity strategy implementation. We have what we call the Green Spider Network. It's all the people dealing, the colleagues dealing with communication in the Ministry of the Environment in all 27 member states. At the same time, we have contacts, our network within the Commission representation in the member state. And Germany has 2 of them, one in Munich and one in Berlin. And of course, we have a lot of traditional events, like many of you certainly know the Green Week here in Brussels and other events where we can also promote Natura 2000. We have a visual identity that we saw in all the publication material here around. Classical brochure, guidelines, but also more and more online material, both on the website of DG Environment, of the European Commission, but also of the European Environment Agency. We are now going a little bit more in detail. These are the classical material that you've been familiar with, and we will continue with this. But we realized that as you know very well, less and less people buy a newspaper in the shops, and they look for information online or on their smartphone or integrated in different applications. So we're really trying to think of how to complement the existing communication material with new way of doing. We're developing, for instance, a Natura 2000 gallery where we will have all the resources related to Natura 2000. We have completely refurbished the Natura 2000 viewer, and we're working to make it more and more user-friendly so that people can, if they find themselves, I don't know, in Sicily or in Ireland, in an area, they can go into the map and check what are the Natura 2000 sites in that area, what are the habitats and the species in that site. We will work more and more also to integrate it with the live map so that people can also see if there are ongoing or past live projects in that area. So we're trying really to work a lot to integrate all these different tools and data that are available. And that's a major challenge, as you know, to have all this data integrated and then accessible in a user-friendly way to the people. But we're also working more widely in awareness raising, on one side is Natura 2000 Day, is the 21st of May, which is the day before the Biodiversity Day. So again, this promotes the network in the EU. We have the Natura 2000 Award, is every 2 years. And we just closed now the applications for the 2024 edition, where under different categories we will be able to reward the most successful project. And since this will be the 7th edition, we have already over 600 applications that can be found online, and this can really bring more visibility to projects on the ground related to Natura 2000. We recognize how youngsters and people, not only in school, but also, for instance, in scouts, in camping activities, all people related to education, they have a major role to play in raising awareness about Natura 2000 within the general activities related to the environment. That's why we developed a dedicated toolkit for educators for them to use it in these activities. We have also innovative ideas and projects. One is the story maps. For instance, this one in Natura 2000 and the World Heritage Common Areas of UNESCO is very, very nice, also visually linking the natural heritage with the cultural heritage. And often they go together because they're all part of our history and our richness and the diversity in the European Union. We have also developed with the Joint Research Center of the Commission links and projects related between science and art and Natura 2000. That's also quite innovative. And we developed with Euronews, Euronews Green, you might have seen in social media or on TV, a number of project videos, investigations, together with Euronews related to Natura 2000. We're more and more also present in social media and Natura 2000. Of course, the sex appeal of the European Commission is not so big in social media. So also I must say that the efforts of President von der Leyen really to make a lot of videos, a lot of activities, and investing a lot on social media has increased enormously. I think the presence of the Commission on social media. But that's why we've been doing a number of partnerships, for instance, with climbers, hiking, apps, and blogs, to promote Natura 2000 and sport, for instance. And this has increased enormously the presence of Natura 2000 and the network on social media. For instance, also an innovative partnership we've done with this app is during the Natura 2000 Day in this year. In May, we've done bio-blitzes across Natura 2000, where people were invited to go on the sites and take pictures and then report back of species and habitats they were able to find on the ground. Again, working very much with people really going out on the ground and not staying in front of their computer. The Natura 2000 award, I mentioned it, is a more institutional way of raising awareness, but really allows for people working on the ground on specific project to have recognition at European level. And this becomes often best practices, like the project that we heard about in Bavaria. The combination of LIFE and Natura 2000, these projects then become best practices for others to follow, for others to listen to copy and get inspiration. And there are many, many categories, as you can see here, that cover both the marine, the land, the communication, and also cross-border. So you can follow the development of the award online, and we hope to be able to announce in early 2024 the selected project, and then during the year, normally around the Natura 2000 Day, there will be the award ceremony that will be also broadcast online. I mentioned the story map. I don't go in detail. You can find online more examples, but you can see there's one on Natura 2000 and LIFE. I mentioned the one in Natura 2000 and UNESCO. Again, linking really the general idea, the general project with concrete examples on the ground. And that's what we're thinking about, is linking more and more this with application related to tourism or Google Maps or similar application, in order to have it more and more integrated and at hand of people when they go around. Another development that is interesting, especially for businesses and farmers and foresters who are in a Natura 2000, is the use of the Natura 2000 logo in goods and services. Through a contract, an agreement, a license agreement between the European Commission and a member state, is it possible to use then the logo to promote certain activities on the ground or certain products. Here you can see some example of the Spanish system to recognize sustainability of nature-based tourism activities in Natura 2000 site. Again, the use of the logo on products developed and produced in Natura 2000 are an added value to compensate, in a way, the operators that have, of course, certain restrictions and limitations in their activities because they are in a Natura 2000 site. Just to conclude, because we have a very heavy agenda today, my main message is that the work is in progress. We are thinking, we took some time in the coming months to think how to strengthen from the European side the activities and the communication and on awareness raising on Natura 2000 and the good stories and the best practices for local communities, because that's for me is quite amazing. When we hear about Natura 2000 here in Brussels, it's always about limitation, restrictions, it's not possible to do this, and so on. And I have a lot of complaints, either because there's a road being built next to a Natura 2000, so people complaining about it, and so on. But in fact, there are so many good stories on the ground for local communities who took advantage of being within or close to a Natura 2000 site that are not so known, and we need to develop those much more. Of course, we are here in Brussels. Even if we put millions and millions of euros that we don't have to promote Natura 2000 in communication activities, we will never reach 500 million of people. We have language limitation, translating everything is very costly, and in any case, it's impossible. It's impossible. So the key message is that this is possible only in partnership with national authorities, regional authorities, local authorities, stakeholders, NGOs, farmer organizations, citizens organizations, foresters organizations, people really on the ground. So what we can do at European level is provide you the framework, provide the tools. We will develop more and more innovative tools, online and digital tools that are easy to translate and to share with everybody. But the idea is really to work very much in partnership with national, regional, and local authorities and stakeholders. So the key message is clearly that we need to engage with all of you. We need you to be on board, and certainly also learn from you, learn from the experiences of the different, and that's the beauty of the LIFE project, is that you can test things on the ground and see what it works, and then this becomes a best practice that other member state or the European Commission can learn about it and then can replicate in a much larger scale. So again, thank you very much. That's all indeed, with a nice picture of a colleague of mine. Continue with this good work, and I wish you a very fruitful discussion during the day. Thank you.